Dystopia is a big theme in many games both past and present. In a previous video of ours, we spoke about the best dystopian worlds in gaming, but one aspect we failed to mention was the people behind those dystopias. One of the most common reasons that a dystopia exists in gaming is down to a single person who more often than not have seized power in a brutal and bloody fashion. What's up guys, Dan here, and as you may have guessed by the title, today I'm going to be talking about all the characters we love to hate, the top 5 tyrants in video games. Due to the need for story writers to supply a good antagonist, the list of tyrants in video games seems to go on forever, and whittling it down to 5 was a difficult decision. Just in case you haven't played the games mentioned, please be aware of spoilers for the following games. Now let's get started. At number 5, we have President John Henry Eden, as seen in Fallout 3. People who haven't played Fallout 3 may be wondering why I won't show any videos of him. Well, that's because they don't exist. The most interesting thing about the President in Fallout 3 is that you don't actually see him. President Eden is just a voice that you can tune into on your trusty Pip-Boy. By listening to Enclave Radio, you can hear several monologues by the President as he inspirationally spreads his dulcet and monotone views on the current situation of his country and how America can be made great again. Remind you of somebody? But wait, this gets better. The shock twist in Fallout 3 is that when you eventually get to meet the esteemed President, you find out the truth, that John Henry Eden is nothing more than an artificial intelligence unit with the sole purpose of keeping the people of the Wasteland in line until the Enclave's plans come to fruition and they purge the Wasteland of all radiation. What I really love about this tyrannical character is how Bethesda so well disguised him throughout the story. When playing for the first time, it is not clear that he is the villain. You are not forced at any point to listen to the radio station. You can progress happily throughout the game without ever really hearing much about him. This means that the shock twist towards the end of the game is actually a shock, making the Fallout 3 experience even better than it already was. At number 4, we have Father Comstock, as seen in BioShock Infinite. 2K Games have made some fantastic dystopian worlds in the BioShock series, with the leaders of these worlds being some of the best tyrannical antagonists. In our opinion, the best of these is Father Comstock, the religious zealot leader of Columbia, the floating city featured in BioShock Infinite. When the player arrives in Columbia, you can quickly begin to realise just how messed up this place is based on our modern day standards. The people of Columbia believe they live in a utopia and don't bat an eyelid as they throw baseballs at a couple of citizens accused of the supposedly heinous crime of interracial relations. As you progress through the game and learn more about Father Comstock and how he took power, it becomes clear just how deranged this man is. And that is what makes him the perfect tyrannical leader. Another shock twist, when the player finds out that Zachary Hale Comstock is actually another version of your character, Booker DeWitt, from an alternate reality, and the only way to prevent Comstock's rise to power is to sacrifice yourself. This makes your hatred of Comstock even more powerful, securing his place at number 4 on this list. Halfway there at number 3 we have Handsome Jack, as seen in Borderlands 2. Handsome Jack is a really interesting character. As the primary antagonist of Borderlands 2, it is clear that he is a tyrannical leader, but in Borderlands the pre-sequel, you see a totally different side of the character. The interesting part is his motives. All that Jack really wants to do is bring order to the lawless planet of Pandora, which realistically is a plan we can all get behind. The problem with Jack, and the reason we love to hate this character, is the way he goes about doing it. At the start of Borderlands 2, Jack has already forcibly taken over the Hyperion Company, meaning he already has just about all the resources he could ever need. On top of that, he has claimed all responsibility for opening the original vault and defeating the creature inside, a feat that your character managed to achieve back in the original Borderlands game. But what is even worse is that Jack has a huge geostationary space station in the shape of an H, likely in homage to his ego. He uses this base both to beam down his armies of robots as well as spy on you, the Vault Hunters, meaning he knows exactly what you are doing at all times, something he often makes a point of when he communicates with you over the radio. This makes Handsome Jack one of the most intelligent but also one of the most creepy tyrannical leaders we have ever seen in gaming, and therefore the reason he made it onto this list. Next on the list at number 2 we have Dr. Wallace Breen, as seen in Half-Life 2. By far the most intelligent entry on this list, Wallace Breen is the former administrator or head of the Black Mesa Research Facility. During the events of Half-Life, he is never actually seen nor mentioned by name, but in Half-Life 2 he becomes the game's main antagonist after he brokers a deal with the Combine. While this does supposedly save humanity from annihilation, it does result in our race's enslavement on Earth, and ultimately, Breen becomes the leader of Earth, ruling from the Citadel in City 17. Valve have written this character incredibly well into the story. One fact that makes him such a good tyrant is his way with words. As you listen to his broadcast throughout the entire city, it is easy to believe much of what he is saying, and begin to fall for his trickery. Some players of the Half-Life games have actually speculated that while Wallace Breen claims to support the Combine, whom he often calls our benefactors, during private conversations with the character, it becomes more evident that he possibly despises the Combine, and is only using them to gain further power. The mystery behind Breen's motives are one of the many factors that make his character such an interesting one, and ultimately, the reason he ranks so highly on this list. Finally, at number 1, the pinnacle of tyrants in video games, we have Pagan Min, as seen in Far Cry 4. Possibly a surprising entry to this list for many gamers. When I first played Far Cry 4, I never expected Pagan Min to come anywhere near the quality of Vaas from Far Cry 3 in terms of great antagonists. I have to say I was incredibly surprised. The thing that makes Pagan Min such a good tyrannical leader is the way he acts throughout your multiple meetings with him in the game. Although he is quite clearly a dictator, quite reminiscent of some modern day dictators, controlling all the media in the country and flooding it with propaganda, his actions towards your character could easily be described as ambivalent. During the game, Pagan has multiple chances where he could easily kill the protagonist AJ, but for some reason chooses not to, despite the fact that AJ has made multiple attempts on his life. It is clear that Pagan Min is not beyond killing. In the very first scene of the game, he brutally slaughters one of his soldiers with a fountain pen after they shoot at the bus that AJ was travelling on, rather than capturing it peacefully. The way these actions come across is so surprising and unexpected to come from any video game antagonist, that when at the end of the game I was given the choice of whether or not to finally kill Pagan and end his regime, I chose to spare him so I could learn the truth. This stands to testify just how good Ubisoft are at creating fantastic tyrannical characters, that twist your own mind so much that it can leave you choosing to spare an evil person's life. There we have it, those were Digital Pinnacle's top 5 tyrants in video games. I know this has been quite a long video, but I wanted to do these characters justice and give real reasons why they are so good. If you stayed until the end, we really appreciate that. I want to give a personal shout out to Sean Foster, who suggested we make this video in the comments section on our top 5 countdown of dystopian worlds in gaming. Thanks for watching our video, Sean, and thanks for your awesome suggestion. To all of our viewers, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. Head over to our channel page to check out more videos like this one. Thanks for watching.